Hello, and welcome to another episode of God's Insight for the Soul. Lori and I have two wonderful participants joining us today who are either going to ask a question, provide a situation that they like some insight on, or ask us to pull an angel card. And the thing that I love about this space is if you are tuning into this recording, if you are listening or found this video, there is a reason, there is a message in this for you as well. And what I encourage you to do is to go within and ask yourself, what is in this for me today? Our participants come on and they get real time right now insight for them to decipher and sift through on their own. But if you're listening to this, you're part of it as well. And one of the practices that we teach in Infree is everything is energy. And I think about that with energy is in the grass and in the trees and in the animals, but it's also in all of the unseen. I can physically see grass and trees. But there's so much of life that is unseen as well, and energy is all around. So to really dive into yourself and ask yourself, what is in this message for me today? And it might be, I don't agree with anything these broads are saying. Or it might be, yes, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. So if you're listening, this is for you. Become an active participant as we go through this. I am Bridget. I'm an intuitive energy practitioner, and my goal for this space is that each one of you who comes on dives in and gets to know yourself a little bit more, dives into your own intuition. And I'll let Lori introduce herself and then we'll get started.
I'm Lori. I'm a spiritual life coach, a consciousness expander. What else? Reality creation teacher, all the things. It's so cool because sometimes I'm like, how do I label myself? Because again, like Bridget and I have said so many times, we just like to show up and love on people. And whatever that looks like for what's needed in that moment, that's what I'll be. I'll be that for you. And I don't really care. So, but that's me. Yeah, so let's get started.
Awesome. Shelly, let's start with you today.
Okay, perfect. Because, Lori, what you just said is the thing. I have a question today.
Hmm.
So I I don't want to label myself. I'm getting emotional. I don't want to put myself in a box because I feel like my my beautiful experience being raised in a cult kept me in a box. And I'm feeling a little snagged because the last couple times we've been together, us beautiful group, Lori, you're like, what do you want, Shelly? What do you fucking want? And I'm feeling snagged because I feel like sometimes when I try to define what I want, I'm putting myself back in a box. So I need support with that today, please.
Bridget, I'm ready for just a little bit of something. I
Go
don't
right
know.
ahead.
Okay. I don't know that it's the full like download, but what just triggered for me is this experience that literally I just had over the last couple of days. And so I think it's so funny that, of course, I had that over the last couple of days. Um, and guys, sometimes we think that we get in this like fuckery in our head and we're like, what's going on? And then we realize when we just keep showing up, we realize, oh my God, that wasn't even like, yes, it was about me, but it was also about God preparing me to walk with Shelly right now, right? So I have in my business have done that for so long. Ask me how many titles I've had, right? It's been a million. And every time I'm changing something, I'm like, that doesn't quite fit. Oh, that fits. And then 2 weeks later, I'm like, that doesn't fit anymore. So what do I call myself? I feel like I can't decide. I feel like, well, I had finally made some decisions in my business. And I said, this is it. It felt, you guys, it felt so good. And I called for places to like serve and deliver this. And of course, something showed up right away. And I delivered that the other day. And right after that, it was like the spiritual warfare started, right? That internal dialogue, that wait, what's going on? I thought I was so settled. It was well with my soul, and now it's not. Right? And literally, like, I don't know if you can hear it in my throat, but it's a little like, oh, because I was literally screaming at God, going, just what the fuck do you want from me? Like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And it's we are okay. This is the only thing that's contrastual beings. I can't know what this feels like unless I know what something else feels like in relationship to something else, right? If in M free, 100% spirit, 100% human, on the spirit side, it's oneness, it's connection, it's there's another one that kind of goes along that vein. But on the human side, it's duality, it's separation, right? And this is how we have relationship, is through duality. Well, relationship to what? Whatever is in front of us. For what purpose? Relationship with God. That is the one purpose at the end of it, relationship with God. And so we don't even realize when we're seeking something outside of ourselves as opposed to something inside of ourselves. And the thing that we seek most inside of ourselves is that thing that Twitter pates our parts, that goes, oh, that felt good. Oh my gosh, yes, more of that, please. And so right after I did this thing that I decided that this is what I was going to do, like God completely unraveled it, because he said, Lori, you keep running from your purpose. You keep running from what I have for you. And now I'm not doing it on purpose. I think I'm seeking God. I think this is where, guys, if we really realize that 90%, 99%, 98, 96% of how we function is actually in our subconscious mind, and that only this much is up here, and stop giving so much credence to up here and recognize that up here is just the tool to get us here, which at the core of that is this oneness with God. Then I could sit there and I could go, oh, I didn't even realize I was still running from God. I didn't even realize that I was still running from my purpose. I didn't even realize that I was still running from the very thing that would make me feel so Twitter pated, because I was too far away from that frequency. So I got a little closer to that frequency, and I got a little closer to that frequency, and I got a little, but if I think each of those is the thing that is outside of me, I miss that the only thing that, at least if you're watching this today, is the only thing you want, because this is what Bridget and I teach, is that inner discernment, that intimacy with God, right? Is that. And everything out here is just the contrastual thing that is the breadcrumb leading us to that thing instead of this thing. So call yourself whatever today. And does that feel good? No, then don't use that one. And is it okay that you call yourself something different tomorrow? And now we're using this to dislodge ourselves from that box, that cult, that trauma, that however it's showing up, right? We're dislodging from it. What feels good today because that's God? What feels good today because that's God? What feels good today because that's God? What feels good today because that's God, right? We were actually just having this conversation before we pushed record, is what is that thing? And are you second guessing it in your mind? Is your mind coming with a second thought after, oh, that feels good or that doesn't feel good? Right? Because our mind is the programs, our body is revealing our soul's information, our soul's code, if you will, for what we came to the planet for. And what if we just follow what felt good? And then that second thought that comes in, we go, nope, nope, just following the breadcrumb of what feels good, just following the breadcrumb of what feels good. And what we were talking about was Crystal was like, yeah, one day I show up and I'm like, yeah, this is totally for me. Actually, Bridget said the same thing. Like, we're listening to a teacher, we're reading the Bible, we're reading it, and we're like, oh, that totally makes sense. And then tomorrow we're listening to that same teacher say something else and we're like, no, that doesn't resonate. Or we pick up the Bible and we're like, oh my gosh, it's the same word but it has a completely different meaning, right? This is where, guys, the closer you get to intimacy with our Papa, the less all of this out here matters. And the only thing that matters is, oh my God, I know I'm loved. That right there, that feeling, it is well with my soul. Everything out here might be like this. Today I'm this, tomorrow I'm this, today I'm this, tomorrow I'm this, the next day I'm this, the next day. And then it doesn't matter. And again, it's so funny because one of the other things that we were talking about before we pushed record was there's a teaching out there that kind of like doesn't like Paul from the Bible, the Apostle Paul. And I was like, what is it? Like, why is Paul a hater? Or why are people Paul hating? And what just came up in my mind was when Paul was like, I'll be a Greek for a Greek and a Jew for a Jew. I don't care as long as I get to preach Christ.
Mm-mm.
And ultimately, Christ is the consciousness of love. So sometimes we just got to take ourselves off of, why do I have to call myself anything? Oh, you know why? Because sometimes people can't feel the frequency right away. So I'm going to throw something out there. Okay, well, it might be this today and it might be that tomorrow. That was really, really a lot. However, whoa, it feels so good to just say, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Call yourself something, don't call yourself something. But you removing yourself from the what you call yourself being your identity, and just let it be a role for today. What role am I going to play today? Because my identity is love, and I play a gazillion million different roles throughout the day, sometimes simultaneously, but I can only play one identity ever. And the frequency that I'm feeling, the alignment that I'm feeling is not alignment with the role. It's actually alignment with my identity, and everything else doesn't matter. And it matters and it doesn't matter, right? I don't want to minimize the fact that sometimes we have to say Crystal's a chiropractor. She's a doctor. Sometimes she has to say, guys, I'm allowed to do this. I'm a doctor. Trust me. Come on. I'm a doctor. I can do this. Right. But other times we don't have to do that. Other times, Crystal, I mean, when I don't know why sex is always a beautiful topic, but when Crystal's having sex, she's not like, I'm a doctor. Let me tell you what to do. She's just like, yes, give it to me. Right. I mean, maybe she doesn't say it like that, but y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, now I'm really done, Bridget.
I love all of that. And one of the things I wrote down, Shelley, was in the box or out of the box doesn't change who you are. So I love that identity piece that Lori threw in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so this is You mentioned that you felt like you were getting stuck because when you ask yourself, well, what do I want? Then you felt like you were putting yourself in a box. And what I kept getting was, so celebrate being in the box that you're choosing to put yourself in.
Mm,
Recognizing that, oh, I'm putting myself in this box,
Mm,
and stop and celebrate that
mm,
awareness that you have when you do that is so powerful and so loving because, again, it doesn't change your identity, whether you're in a box or you're out of a box. It does not change who you are. But to stop and go, okay, I recognize I want to do this. This feels good. I want it, but I'm having a hard time because I feel like it's putting me in a box. I'm going to do it and celebrate the fact that I'm doing it by choice. I'm
mm,
doing it on my own.
mm, mm.
Because the other thing that started to come up with that, and I might be losing my train of thought. Hold on. Yeah, if what comes up, I want to do this thing, and then that thought enters, but that kind of feels like I'm putting myself in a box, and then we resist doing that thing that we want to do, it's never gonna feel good.
Mm,
Right? It's always gonna be like, because I'm resisting it. Like I really want to pick up this cup, but I'm resisting it. Like no matter if I get the cup to my lips and I take a drink, it's not gonna be pleasurable.
mm,
But if I celebrate, like, I'm picking this cup up, I'm gonna take a drink, then no matter how long I stay there, it's enjoyable. Because then I can also choose, okay, I placed myself in this box, and now what's next?
mm,
Celebrate you, Shelley, for all that you are doing. Like, celebrate you
mm.
in the box or out of the box.
Thank you.
and let me go back to just a second, because I don't know if I really made this point clear, but when Bridget just said all that she said. So I made the decision. I actually spoke at an event that surprisingly, I mean, like non coincidentally, Crystal was at. It was so fun. I felt so alive while I was teaching it. But you guys, the minute I was done, I was like, oh, oh. And I'm pretty good at it. Crystal, was it a pretty good presentation? It was a pretty good presentation. I
It
fucking
wasn't
killed it.
pretty good. It was really good.
Thank you. I killed it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And guys, the whole time I felt so alive because I had chosen it and I had done it, but it still wasn't quite fully everything that God has for me. Right? There was still a missing piece that God was like, yeah, Lori, yes, that feels good. And yes, there's information in there. And yes, you served these people and you did it well. And there's something more that you weren't aware of, or that I might have been aware of, but I wasn't aware of yet. I hadn't embodied it yet. So this is what I feel like Bridget's saying, like, okay, own it, do it. Let that second guess go away, and then use it as a tool for that comparison of what's next. Am I on track? Am I on track? Because we don't even know we're on track until we take that step.
Mm.
Yeah. And at the
Thank
end of the day, sis, you are so loved. And we know you are a queen. And if you ever have any doubt, you show up and you go, bitches, remind me. And we say, yes. And then from there, you do it again. You do it again. And this is life. Life is not about it always being good and happy, but life can be about always being in alignment. And when we're not, we have support. We
Mhm.
know we're loved. We know that tomorrow is coming, right? And we can yell and we can scream and we can do the thing and we can be frustrated and come back to, and I'm loved and I'm already accepted and I've never been separated and I have a team of people seen and unseen, that would die for me. Literally, figuratively, spiritually. Yeah.
Mm.
Cheers.
Can I add something?
No.
Okay. So, Lori says that God said there's more for her, because I'm going to bring this back around to the original thing too. But what if in that moment it was perfect at your talk because of the frequency of those in the room? And so, right, God has more for you, but in that moment it was perfect to deliver. It's like Usain Bolt. I think everybody knows he's like some famous track star or something like that, right? Long jumper. But when he's 2 years old, he's the fastest runner or something like that. He's an Olympian. But when he's 2 years old, God might say, take a step. He didn't say go into the Olympics at 2 years old. So God was preparing him for the Olympics. I think he runs like a 4 minute mile or something. I don't know. These numbers don't work in my brain. That's not my journey that God put me on to be a fast runner. But the thing is, I found that God's always giving us the next piece. So there's always the next piece where God wants to go more, but in that moment, it's perfect. In that
Absolutely.
moment, it's perfect. And then with the labels, because like Lori mentioned, I'm a chiropractor, I could ask each one of you, what does a chiropractor do? And each one of you can miss the mark on what I actually do because it's just a big label. So then I have to use descriptive words to kind of say, I bring in the quantum, I bring in the energy, I bring in mind, body, spirit. Well, you can go to the joint down the road. All they do is snap, crackle, pop you. They don't even think about mindset, but we're both chiropractors. So now I get to take back my power to use how I want to describe, even though my identity is always love, how do I want to describe it? Because you could say I'm in a cult of chiropractors, a cult of the last name, a cult of whatever you want. Everything can be cultish. And even like you being raised in a cult, just take back your power. Don't give them that power to tell you who you are. Take it back. Does that make sense? That's how I look at it. Like, that's how I feel through it. And I've been through enough like traumatic things in my life where I just take it back. Like, I'm not going to let this childhood experience still run my programming. And when it starts,
Amen,
and when it
sister.
starts, I'm like, ooh, go love her. Ooh, nope, we're safe right now. Oop. Because sometimes you think you're good and then all of a sudden whew, it flares back up. You're like, oh, what do I need right now? I need love. I need to go love her. Like that was an experience, but that's not who you are. So
Love it.
that's my add to labels.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you. All right, Crystal,
Well,
what do
did
you
Shelly
have
want
for
to say
us?
anything? Did Shelly want to say anything about her stuff? What she received or anything, or just go straight to me?
Um, I'm I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's do a general card as we're clearing up the end of the year.
Purple, pink, or yellow?
Wait, what?
Purple, pink, or yellow?
Let's do purple.
And are you drawing a card for the culmination of your year, or because you kind of said because it's the end of the year? What's the intention of your card?
My intention is like closing out the end of the year, advice on closing out the end of the year as I'm entering 2026. So not all of the previous 2025, but like this moment forward, what's the guidance?
Cool. I like it. I like it. There is the card.
Goodbye to, I can't see the top.
Oh, hold on. Goodbye to the old, hello to the new. That's awesome. Okay. You're finished one part of your life. Oh, you've finished one part of your life. And now a new and even better part is beginning.
Yeah, it goes along with my life right now.
Bridget, I'm ready or you
Yeah,
can
go
go
ahead.
if you're
Go
ready.
ahead.
Okay. So the thing that came up actually goes back to exactly what you were just saying. Like this is complete and then there's more. 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 And better is more based on the law, which is life. It's always unfolding, right? But it doesn't make this less than, except for in linear creation, right? I needed this to build this. I need an apple to make an apple pie, right? So the apple pie isn't better than the apple. It's just more than the apple based on now I have more, but the flour isn't better or less than, or because I need the apple, so it's perfect, and I need the flour and it's perfect, and I need the sugar and it's perfect, and I need the whatever else you make apple pie with, right? I need all of those things and they're perfect. Even guys, even Crystal, this is what's coming up. This is what it is. Ooh, are you guys ready? I need an empty tin. I need an empty tin in order to make an apple pie. It is not better to have an apple pie in the tin, because without the origin of an empty tin, I couldn't make the pie. And guys, the whole fucking reason we're here, Crystal, the whole fucking reason you're here is to experience the making of the pie.
The journey. Yeah.
Right now, I have to have a vision of the pie. I have to have a goal of the pie in order to go through the journey of making the pie. So both are needed and important. However, the whole fucking purpose is the making of the pie, because if it wasn't about the making of the pie and all you wanted to do was eat it, go buy a pie and eat it. But then you eat it and you're like, that's it. As opposed to making the pie and then going, oh, that was so satisfying. I made a pie. We're made in the image of creation. We came here to create. And coming back to how this ties into everyone, Shelley, you came here to create. You came here to create a business, a life, a mission, a calling, a presentation, a helpful mission, a whatever, right? It's just making process. And so, yes, out with the old, in with the new, the better is coming. But we know it's not better because this was bad. It's just better because it's more, and that is our identity. Be fruitful and multiply. That was the charge that we were given as ones with dominion over this physical existence.
I love that example of the apple pie because, yes, Crystal, for you, this card was very much a goodbye to the old. It was very finite. It was a very goodbye to the old. And at first I thought, okay, is there like, because a seed had already been planted and it was like, no, like goodbye to the old. You no longer have to go back and spend time taking care of that seed. You no longer have to look back to cultivate and prepare, and it's goodbye to, you've done that work. Goodbye to the old is. And then I love the analogy, Lori, of this apple pie, because then that empty tin is so the I wrote down, you don't have to return to that in order to move forward with what it is you're creating. You, what is it? Now is the time that you get to really ask yourself, what feels good to put in my empty tin? What feels good? And continue then to fill it with the things that feel good. Oh, this no longer feels good. Okay, I'll drop that out. What feels good now? Oh, yeah, put that in my tin. What feels good now? Ooh, a little bit more sugar. Put that in my tin. What feels good now? it was very much a very directive for you to you've done the work. It's all about moving forward right now. It's all about what lights you up, do that. If it doesn't light you up, don't put that in your tin. What lights you up right now, do that. Don't worry about the seeds that had been planted. Don't worry about if you're making an apple pie or peanut butter pie or whatever kind of pie. Like if it feels good, put it in your tin. If it don't feel good, don't put it in your tin.
That's it goes along with what I've been doing in my life. I was just telling Lori yesterday, I've just been like massively purging and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is from college, but I mean I threw away my high school Letterman jacket. Guys, I haven't worn it since 1999. The fuck am I moving it around for? Peace out. Like I'm like, you served your purpose. Goodbye. And like my nieces or nephew, no one's gonna want my coat that says Crystal from 1999, right? Like I'm like, it served its purpose. And it's not bad, like Lori said. So it's amazing always how the cards and the message like align with your life. At least for me. Like they're aligning totally with what I'm doing. If I start watching a show, doesn't light me up, I don't even finish it. I'm done. I'm like, I'm done here. So no, I appreciate that. It just gives me reassurance I'm on the right path, which is what I thought, but it's just more confirmation. So I guess the lesson would be trust myself too. That'd be the next lesson.
Yes.
And you guys, sometimes, even for Bridget and I, what we say is easier said than done, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
if Bridget and I were reading for each other, we would go, "Yeah, girl," like because there's a message being carried, right? But we have to have the awareness and then the cognitive decision that that's the direction we're going, and now we practice, right? And that's why I'm pretty sure it's in Proverbs where it talks about like, because Proverbs is all about wisdom and how to do life through wisdom instead of through our patterns. And it talks about how a dog returns to his vomit, which is that, ooh,
Mm.
I'm going to go back and let me
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that that was gross, right? We spit it out, we purge it, and then we
Mm-hmm.
go, wait a minute, maybe I do need that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And but at least with the awareness of the permission that I don't have to do that anymore, right? Because the old patterning might be we have to go back, we have to do that, we have to pay attention, we have to. Sometimes, guys, we there is a time and a space that we have to go back and heal our inner child, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's not. But if we think the only option is going back and healing our inner child, then we're being invited to move forward, and we're over here licking our vomit instead of
Mm-hmm.
actually like loving our inner child, right? So the more we realize that everything is available and stuff we didn't even know today will be available tomorrow, now we're just following those breadcrumbs. And sometimes we give a little lick behind us, but we have permission and we have support of people going, nobody knows what God has for you in the next 7 seconds except God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows if you're licking your vomit or loving on your inner child or just getting angry and getting it out of our bodies. Nobody knows but God. And guys, when we realize that is the only benchmark, it's well with my soul. Yeah, thanks, you guys. This was juicy. Juicy as fuck.
I think too, I want to add, I like how you brought in the apple pie because, I've had I have an undergrad and a doctorate, right? So each time I look at like end goal degree, and I didn't always enjoy the process of college because it was like memorize, regurgitate, test, blah, blah, blah. But even when we started out with like the entire journey is based on getting closer to God. Even as I'm making the apple pie, getting closer to God. And so it's like everything I'm doing, I'm working at how am I getting closer to God the way He wants to, He created me to serve His children. And like, because I'm not like any of you, and I hope none of you are like me, because I know we're not, because we each have a different gift. So that's one thing I've really been working on too is like that relationship closer to God, no matter what the vessel is that's being presented to me.
Yeah.
Yep. And with that,
Yes. Yes. And this at the very beginning, I said this is one of the things that I love about this space is walking alongside other human beings in this journey we call life as each one of us dive into our own intuition, our own connection to that one power that is benevolent and following the prompts from there. So thank you so much for joining us and for being a part of this beautiful conversation. If this has been fun for you, it's something that you would like to come on and ask a question or have an angel card pulled for you, Lori and I would love to join you in this journey. So there is a calendar link in our description. If you found this video and you've watched it till the end, I encourage you also to leave us a comment. Tell us how it resonated with you. Like and subscribe. We would love that as well. And I think that's it. Have a wonderful, beautiful day.